My name is Osama Khan. So I come from a Bangladeshi background. I was born and brought up in Bangladesh in a relatively practicing Muslim family. We are from the Sunni side of Islam, and out of the four madhab, we follow Hanafi madhab, which is very popular in South Asia. Islam means a lot to me. I would say that alongside my identity as a teacher in a university and having two nationalities, one of my other core identities is Islam. It governs my life in terms of giving me the spiritual need. It provides a legal framework which is beyond the legal framework of the country, for example. So almost on a daily basis, my reflection and connection with God defines who I am, where things can be allowed to me morally and based on the rules of the land, but may not be allowed to me because my God asked me not to or asked me to do that. So it's a major part of my life. It literally touches me at least 5 times a day. I arrived in Britain on 24th of September 2000, which you believe I do celebrate that day every year, ever since I arrived. I had a very traditional view at that time, which is still the mainstream view of LGBTQ community within the Muslim community, which is the whole concept of that is not permissible, and people engaging in that community with whatever belief they have are committing sin. That's kind of was my view. I first received a pack in my pigeonhole, which I didn't even know what pigeonhole meant when I arrived at Cambridge. And the pack was about having safe sex, and it introduces me the concept of LGBTQ. University of Cambridge was one of the first universities to campaign for LGBTQ. And I would say that literally on the second and third day of receiving that pack started my journey of pondering on what it is, why the university embraced it so openly, why is it so acceptable, why it has never been acceptable as I grew up in Bangladesh. So that's the start of my journey, I would say, and then I had a long journey, and I'm still right at the middle of that journey. I haven't finished it yet. I find LGBT community very friendly through the lenses of the friends that I made ever since I came to UK. I find those people are just like human being like myself. Many of the times they are much better human being than myself, and that's what made me to really try to understand them more, because I just found them human beings with talents, aspirations, tribulations, just like myself. There is no difference. Many of them, I now found LGBTQ friends who are Muslim as well, of other faith. So that also has been quite problematic initially with me. So that, however, that humanized them even more to me. So I sit comfortably with them right now, but given what my mainstream faith preach, there are still areas where I don't know what the answer is, and as I said, I'm still having the journey. Given what I explained before about perhaps the standpoint from the scripture about LGBTQ within Islam, I don't think the Muslim community feel at ease to have an open conversation with the LGBTQ community, and I can well imagine somebody who grew up in a Muslim community but then found themselves to be LGBTQ feel comfortable to openly talk about it. So there is a lot of taboo around this topic between both the communities, and that's why there hasn't been much conversation. We must have conversation. We must create experience, environment, and events where we give the opportunity for our Muslim community or any other faith community to have an open and honest conversation. Try to understand people as human beings with all the happiness and trials that are common. I think if we establish that common ground, the suspicion goes away, the judgment goes away. You can then treat a person as a person. So, create a lot of conversation. In my mind, that's the best way forward.